been about 9 months since the state of Massachusetts started demolishing the toll plazas along the Massachusetts Turnpike, replacing them with a new automated system that's supposed to make commuting easier, faster, and safer. The transition has not always been smooth, but the people orchestrating it insist that in the end, it's going to be a change for the better. Jonathan Gulliver became the state's acting highway administrator in May, right in the midst of the shift from manned tolls to automated ones.
I started pretty much the day that this new traffic configuration went into place. So it was a little bit of a trial by fire.
Partly because everything happened so fast.
Immediately after it went live, we went right into toll demolition. So every toll plaza across the state pretty much simultaneously went into a demolition phase. Exception being the Sumner Tunnel, basically a real sprint type of process.
And then the work continued with changes from everything to curb lines to drainage systems to pavement elevation. That extreme makeover is still going on, but Gulliver says that at locations across the pike, the end is in sight.
The plan is to have all of them completed by the end of this calendar year. And they are all on track.
At least they are right now. But recently, frustration at one of the pike's pivot points reached a fever pitch.
You're trying to change a pattern of behavior that existed for decades.
State Senator Joe Boncore represents East Boston, Winthrop, and Revere, and he's Senate Vice Chair of the legislature's Transportation Committee. A few weeks ago, his office was bombarded with complaints about traffic backlogs starting in the Sumner Tunnel.
I think a lot of people were avoiding 1A, and they were going through the neighborhood of East Boston. So the East Boston residents, who have always dealt with congestion around the tunnel, were experiencing greater volume of cars on their streets in front of their doors.
In response, Gulliver and his team changed their Sumner MO, creating an adjustable lane that absorbs traffic from East Boston in the morning and the suburbs and airport later in the day. Now Gulliver says that ugly Sumner backlog is a thing of the past.
This is the entrance to Sumner Tunnel. On the right-hand side is traffic coming in from 1A. On the left-hand side, and there's no traffic currently coming from city streets, the line of barrels that you see on the right-hand side of that photo, those are moved in the afternoon to, again, open up the 1A traffic.
As Gulliver tells it, there's a simple but crucial lesson here. In the end, traffic engineering is as much an art as a science.
Whenever you do any type of engineering, when it involves real people driving behind cars, even despite the best models that you put out there, drivers are not always going to behave the exact same way that you expect them to.
Given that, Gulliver has a favor to ask of the public.
Anytime a motorist sees something that they think is problematic, we want them to get in touch with us so that we can take a look at it. Social media, Twitter, etc. There's a lot of ways that we put out there for people to get in touch with us, and we really want them to, too.
For the record, Senator Boncore says that now traffic in East Boston is about what it was before the renovations. He's hoping it gets even better by the time work is complete. Also, in the spirit of full disclosure, I did this story because I was sure that construction heading into the Ted Williams Tunnel had lengthened my commute. But Gulliver says that is not a widespread complaint. On social media, I asked Pike drivers for their take on the renovations, and the responses were overwhelmingly positive. From Brant, once the physical tolls were completely eliminated, it greatly reduced traffic. For me, it was a welcome change. From Frank, without a doubt, it is a better ride now that the tolls are removed. From Sarah, drove to Stamford, Connecticut, first time in a while. I became aware of feeling less stressed before I realized why. Much better. From Dee Dee, it's like night and day with traffic. It's so much better, but it's also doubled my toll since they put tolls going out of the city. And finally, from Kevin, electronic tolling has been a godsend in reducing congestion. Unpopular opinion, but I hope we can expand it to 93 to bring some equity between east and west commuters and north and south commuters and better fund infrastructure. So maybe instead of blaming Jonathan Gulliver and his team, I just need to start leaving the house on time.